So this is a quick video on fixing or looking for the problem with the heater in a 2001 F150. So this is the dash, and apparently one of the common problems is the blend door that is in this compartment here. So I have this off, and some previous owner looks like they installed a satellite, so there's a lot of extra stuff in here that probably not going to be in your car, like all this wire. But anyways, the motor for the blend door is here, so I'm just going to kind of like figure this out and see if it's something that's going to help you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the keys. Sorry for the... And so you can actually feel the motor, and if it's quiet enough, I got some kids here that have like a little electric car, and so it's kind of like throwing me off. So I can feel it while I adjust this. And then each time you move this, you can tell it's moving. I mean, you move it just a smidge and you can feel it. So the question is whether or not apparently there's a problem usually with the connection between this motor and the blend door, which is inside this compartment here, this box. So it seems like this motor's working. So now, without having to tear everything up first, I'm gonna put a little hole in here and put a little camera in there and see if I can see the blend door. If it's working, I'm not gonna bother with all that stuff. So let's get started. So in order to do the inspection here, I have this little camera. I've used it on a few things. I think I got it on Amazon or Wish. It has little LED lights. It plugs into the computer, and I believe it works with Windows Movie Maker. Find that out in a second. But each one of these, you can get these anywhere, and you can actually get them that already has the camera built in that will work with your iPhone and what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole that is hopefully the right size, and then we'll just kind of stick the camera in there and see what's going on. There's our inspection hole. Yay! So this little camera has got the lights, and I'm gonna try to hook it to my computer, my laptop, and see if I can get it to connect. So I'm not gonna show all that part. All right, so after some finagling, I got the camera to work. See, it's looking at me right now. Okay, the audio timing's off a little bit, but that's fine. So we're gonna put it in there. We're just gonna take a quick look and see what's in there. Oh, let me get a better view for you guys here. Actually, I'm gonna record this. So maybe we could, you won't have to watch me fussing around. Record. So technically it's recording what I'm doing. And then I could just use that video in the video that you're seeing. All right, I'm gonna turn on the thing. We're gonna go back in there. Get the light all the way on. So I'm gonna adjust this thing to see what happens in there. Oh, it looks like that door is functioning properly. So I'm using the I'm working the temperature control here, and it pretty much is like right on. All the way open. There's the heater core. Move it over to AC. It closes the heater core up. So that's not the problem. That is not the problem. Okay. So I will just take and fill that hole back up and figure out something else that might be wrong with the heater. So it's actually the next day. So work smarter, not harder. And I'm looking online. It looks like another one of the problems can be the heater thermostat resistor, which can cause similar problems with the fan motor. But in order to check that, apparently the way to check that is to, if your blower motor is only working in the high position, that's probably the issue. And that's kind of like down underneath here. There's other videos online to show you how to do that, but mine works all the way through low. And so I'm not going to bother looking at that because the fan motor is blowing just fine. It's just not getting any heat. All right, so step 3, flush the heater core. So I did actually check. So here's the hose. It actually goes back to that. This is the heater core outlet. This is the heater core inlet, which goes right next to it. And so it has these fittings, which are very hard to get to, but inside there's clips just on this side of this notch. So you have to push those clips in while pulling on the hose, but not the clip that's still there. They do sell replacement clips for that. This is really the hardest part of the project. All the other videos are the same way. It's really hard to see back in there. See if I can get some better shots. So I'm gonna try to reverse flush it. Since this is the line that usually goes in, and this line goes out, I'm gonna flush it backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. How come it's not focusing? There we go. So another way to test this is while the engine's running, this hose should be just about as warm as this hose. When you're looking at it installed, it's gonna be down there like that. This hose should be as warm as this hose. They should both be hot. This hose for mine wasn't really that hot. Not so much. So I think this is gonna help. So after spending a good half a day trying to get the second one off, I finally got it off. And O-rings were pretty well damaged. And so they don't sell those anywhere. If anyone knows where, let me know. But I got some 5/8 ID tubing and a garden hose adapter. Put that together. I'm gonna reverse flush it. See how that works. And by the way, Amazon sells many tools for taking off those hoses. I didn't know. Buy one of those in advance if you're gonna do this. I don't even know which one's a good one, but there's many out there. Some just a little clip, they slip in there. Some are actual pliers that wrap around the thing. I would probably go for one of those. That way you don't have to get your hands all the way in there. Anyways, let's get going. So this is going to the outlet side basically, so that when I flush it's going to go in reverse. So I'm going to hook on the other two to the inlet, collect the water. All right, we got this hooked up. Let's see what it does. I think there might be a little bit of leaking back there. I don't have hose clamps on it. I see some pretty dirty water coming out. Well, it's actually pumping some clear water, but what came out, if that's my antifreeze, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I gotta flush that, put some new in. But I'm actually seeing a part that came out of the core. Hopefully that's not like what's holding the whole core together. Let's check. Just checking for leaks. My buddy who used to work at Ford, never on these, he said, but commonly flushing out the heater core would just flush out what was holding the whole thing together. So let's hope that's not the case. So here's what was flushed out, and just like the first few, well, basically 8 quarts. And there looks like there is a part, a plastic part in there. Hopefully maybe that's whatever that was causing it to, the plastic part. No, it's actually like a foam, squishy. All right, so this is flushing it the regular way. Still getting some pretty good sediment in there. Can't film actually doing it because I gotta hold those hoses on there. So now I'm doing a radiator fluid drain so I can put some new. And it's not like radiator fluid at all. It's not red. See, it's not green. It doesn't smell like radiator fluid. So that'll help me. At least it'll be, I mean, it's just been, it made it all the way to Tennessee and back to California on water. It didn't overheat at all. In fact, anything, it was running cool because I needed the heater to work because I'm heading back to Tennessee again. It's February and there's a lot of cold spots between here and there. One of the reasons I had to stop the whole time. But I'm pulling that trailer and it didn't overheat, so hopefully this is going to work. So anyways, back to business here. I did find this is actually a full set between one side and the other side, the inlet and the outlet. This was broken on one of them, which is the plastic hard washer, and this is the remaining washer from the inlet side. It's just toasted on one side, just toasted. I'm not going to reuse that one, but I did have 2 O-rings that I'm going to use on the outgoing side. I'm going to have to omit this and hope it doesn't leak. I know it's probably helps hold those in place, but I do intend on taking this entire engine apart and rebuilding it, transmission and all. That would include, you know, flushing out the radiator the proper way, all new I've pretty much done all the brakes and everything on this thing. It's gonna get all new suspension parts. It's gonna get everything to make it basically a new 2001 with all the ripped seats and everything. So I have actually heard that the O-rings should go in here before they're pressed on, but then there's also someone else that recommends put them on there so that they don't get twisted, and I tend to agree with that. So I'm going to put the O-rings on there since I don't have my fancy little hard seal anymore, with maybe a little bit of oil or some sort of water-based lubricant, and push those back on while I'm doing the flush out here. So those actually went on pretty easy. This return line over here is the one that has just the 2 O-rings, the new ones, and this one over here has a combination of old ones. But yeah, when I took this one off, I only found 1 O-ring and the hard plastic thing. And there's a chance that it just fell off back there, or it was someone had been fussing with it before and it didn't get back on. All right, so I put a gallon in already, started it up, and it went down right away. But based on that mixture, I got less than 2.5 gallons out. And if it takes 6.5 gallons at a 50-50 mix, I could just add all coolant. This is 100% coolant. Oh man, I'm telling you. So it's not even up to operating temperature yet. But there's a lot of heat coming in here. I got it on hot, and it doesn't even show any heat yet, which is kind of troubling. Should show something on there. Hope I didn't knock a... Oh, now it's starting to move. Come back in a second. It's right there.